Behind us.
Yeah, go for it. Tactical games is quite an interesting genre of games. There are so many potential tactical influences that affect both how these games work and how we perceive these games or how we experience these games. Movies, other games, books, documentaries, and the militaries and police forces of the world, many of them having their own way of doing things from open field combat to close quarter battles. So I firmly believe that how good a tactical game is 100% subjective. It doesn't matter how many other people play it, or what the graphics look like, or even whether it's an FPS game or a top-down turn-based game or a large-scale real-time strategy game. And because of these subjective reasons, instead of just giving you the latest list of tactical games on the market, I'm going to give you the list of games that I consistently find myself coming back to and regularly playing because of its tactical elements and also why I like these games. This list is not going to be in any particular order, so I don't necessarily think any one is better than the other. Are you out? So first off, I'm sure you are able to guess, if you've watched my channel before, is Arma Reforger. Arma Reforger to me is more about the community experience and the ability to create and enjoy a combat environment with multiple facets like air, indirect fire, small team combat, and epic large-scale fighting alongside friends, than purely a tactical first-person shooter. It is of course still that, but the fact that I can very easily set up a community server with loads of cool mods and have pilots flying resupply or CAS, a gun team setting up SBF, a JTAC coordinating the air stack, and a couple of squads to fight through an objective, all coordinated by one or two leaders, is incredible. Naturally, we can add to that the graphics, the sound, which both in my opinion is incredible. And what we get is this very immersive, insanely intense combat environment that we get to enjoy alongside friends while fighting to achieve one unified goal. I love that.
Wow, that's wow. Go in there. Oh! Numbers!
Kill the dude inside.
Under the charge! Get him! It's north!
Next up in the list is Grey Zone Warfare. Now I know that this game still has a long way to go and definitely had its struggles following early release, but I've recently gotten back into it with a group of friends, and I can honestly say that running nighttime ops with a challenging environment, some great weapon modification, and a sense of achievement for every task done is making the problems it has slowly fall away. Now I don't think this game requires as much tactics or tactical knowledge and focus as some of the other games, but it's a game where you can apply all the tactics with a great looking and feeling dense jungle environment. A well-balanced day-night system, although I would like some darker nights, means that you can plan your excursions according to what suits you best. Grey Zone Warfare has given me some of the most immersive moments while stealthily moving through a jungle into a town, crawling with the enemy under cover of darkness, and hard rain with my small team of elite-looking operators. Now, if open world, large-scale combat is not your thing, or you are more interested in CQB, there are two games that I always come back to and play multiple times throughout every month. Dead breach. Alright, get eyes on that please. Firstly, Door Kickers 2 Task Force North, a top-down tactical game in which the player controls an entire team of operators to clear and secure specific objectives. Procedurally generated maps means that no mission is ever the same, even if you end up playing repeatedly. And with the campaign mode introduced earlier in the year, there is now also an incentive to keep your guys alive and focus even more on how you control the operators. Door Kickers is especially handy as a gamer to both learn and practice close quarter battle tactics and SOPs to use in other games, or just generally understand better and ultimately increase your tactical prowess.
That kind of got me, I think.
Yeah, I'm better. Once you become proficient, my go-to to practice CQB in person, albeit virtually, with a group of friends, is Ready or Not. Now don't worry, Ready or Not does have some pretty good AI to help you that you can control quite well with a bit of practice. You can even set up a voice attack, so if finding friends is difficult, you can still play this with quite good efficiency, and it's very fun and challenging. The Commander mode gives you full in-depth control on how you play, who you have in your squad, and even to the point where you have to consider their mental health with regards to what happens in ops and what ammo is being used. If you are looking for a group to play with though, my community run Ready or Not play sessions pretty regularly, which is open for anyone to join, and even includes some CQB training from one of our specialists.
Go to.
Yep, that's me.
Before we get to the final game I consider as a staple in my life, I wanted to give you a couple of honorable mentions that I have spent a considerable amount in, which has great aspects, but for some reason I don't get into as much anymore. Escape from Tarkov, which I have now moved away from since their whole Unheard Edition debacle. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which is great fun, but I'm just not a fan of the third-person view anymore, and cannot seem to get the first-person mod working properly. Incursion Red River, which is a great PvE extraction option that I play every time a new update is released, and actually really enjoy it. 6 Days in Fallujah. I had a lot of fun on this, but for some reason it gives me severe motion sickness, so unfortunately I can only really play for about 30 minutes and then I have to stop. And lastly, Stalker. Pretty much any of them, but particularly Stalker Gamma and Stalker 2. Now I know that Stalker is not made to be a tactical game, but I always like to play it somewhat tactical, which with all the external environmental factors can often be good fun and challenging. Contact straight front, very close. Back to the regular scheduled programming with the last, but definitely not least, is Arma 3. This game means so much to me, having been my entry into milsim and milsim units, including my own. Arma 3 with mods gives players the ability to partake in highly special operations against players or AI, both equally challenging in its own way, with an incredibly vast array of options. Whether it's conducting halo jumps from 10,000 feet above the enemy, diving through the dark waters, speeding down a river in a boat, landing on the X with a Little Bird or a CH-47, flying over the enemy with an A-10 Warthog, Arma 3 gives you more options and more fun and more intense situations than any other game currently. And on top of that, there is an enormous list of milsim units to choose from if you need that little bit of guidance. It's also pretty cheap nowadays on Steam, so definitely worth checking out if you have not yet. That wraps up my list of tactical games that I think you should at least give a shot, but let me know down in the comments what your list would be. Maybe you can introduce me to something I haven't tried yet. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.